I know it feels like Friday, and for us here in the States, it is. Markets will be closed tomorrow here in the States, bond market closing early because of the holiday, or is it because they don't want any more foreign selling? Anyway, I'm just kidding with that. So just waiting for this to show up. Hope you caught Tavi Costa's interview yesterday. He really laid out some pearls for you guys to consider in your trading, and had a decent week, couple of decent trades that were put on the books alongside of Canada. So, I'm just waiting to get this set up for everybody. The one that worked as well. So let's get right to the charts. So the ECB came out, they cut. And as I look at the euro now, I could see a couple of scenarios. The one that looks likely to me is that we have some type of ABC back to maybe 112 would be a good area if offered. That's, maybe just enough to take out this low. I don't think this is a major top. Um, and if we decide to rally, there's going to be a sell up there too, like 117. But that's what I'm looking for a high, as I mentioned before. But we could have a nice buying opportunity setting up next week. If the dollar follows through, that would take the dollar back towards the 100 levels, basically just moving sideways. Otherwise, if we get a break in the dollar to 98.60, there could be a trade there for a move back to 101. The point being, we're two-thirds of the way down from the move that started, and we were there for at the 110 level. So, now we're going to try and base. I believe the completion's going to come in around 96. So we still, before it's over, could have, like I said, a 117 euro, but there's going to be bounces and breaks. Like we could rally up to here and then go to 98 and a half, and then maybe have another rally till we finally bottom at the 96 level, 96 and change. And the reason or the whys that I came up with that objective, and you guys know I've been bearish to dollar since the winter of last year up here when tariffs were being announced. It wasn't easy when it was in your face to stay, but what we've had is at 96, we'll have close to equality here. If we count this as the wave, this was 1400. 1400 gives you 96. There's some other confluences there, but then I believe we'll complete this wave and we'll find out if it's just, wave one down and then we get a two, or if it's just in big A, B, C, and that it becomes milkshake time. I'm more in the camp that it's going to maybe set up a bear market rally from down there. Halfway back would take it back to 103. So there is going to be a trade on the long side of the dollar. But for now, we're still working both sides of the market. So it's become now during this phase more of a trading affair. It was a position affair here, and then rallies that failed, then the breakdown, weak rally that failed, and the breakdown, and now we're only about 300 handles away uh, from a 1400 handle move. Okay, so 14 handles back to 110. So that's my view on the dollar. I'm looking at the yen here. I was talking about that we could get to this 140 area, and it's going to be an important level that could be a breakdown. But I'm seeing something that we could take advantage of next week, should it set up and the dollar, yen work lower. Here's drive one. Okay, so we've been trading this. Our last short was at 48. Um, that we could have some type of low developing here for a rally, maybe back to 45. or something when the dollar bounces. So I have a 3 drive down here that I'll be looking to play. Canada, this was a nice day trade. It was this day, and we'll diverge in Canada too at new lows. So don't be like really going in full board on a dollar crash now, because if you went back to the beginning of the year, everyone thought that we were going to see euro under parity. Now, no one thinks that the euro could go down again. And, I'm still in the camp, but we're just going to trade it. And then when we get it 90 down at 96, we'll be looking for more of a position swing mentality after that. But right now, I'm just scalping. So we'll see what happens next week there in both euro, yen, Canada, and the dollar. Gold's finally coming off a little bit. And you look, I have to admit it, I didn't see this type of powerful move happening after calling this top. So may as well stay with the weakness, which is still silver. Now, silver was rejected from the 78.6 level. Okay, here's 78.6. Got 33.24, and the high was 33.11. So just missed it. Maybe it's going to try it again, but compared to the gold, I think there's going to be at least a pullback. And I keep staring at this, which I also have in stock indices too. And, this was a confirmed low. We've had them before where you don't have to have divergence. But I look at this and I go, yeah, is it possible that, especially with the dollar heading towards a low at 96, that we could still have one more pullback in silver down here? You can't rule it out. Okay, so we'll see what happens next week. This will be a back up the truck move. Just like when gold tops, I'm still a believer that we're going to be able to possibly even buy it at this 200 day at 2,700. So on the daily, is with this big move, here's a warning. It's not under 70, but I could still see the difference in the readings between the highs that we had here when it was a successful short. And with all of this movement, over $300 move in a week or so, we still haven't made a new high in the RSI. And the last thing I'm going to bring up, risk is kind of a two-sided game. United Healthcare is getting killed, but I wanted to bring up WTI. Looks like we're going to have a reversal week. I'd like to see it stick over 62, even if the market pulls back. We'll see what happens with the talks, but this is a technical signal. Even though I did it here on the market crash day, it's not too late. This is a good weekly signal. We will have a 2-week reversal in crude. Here's a weekly. And all I could say is, would you want to be short this stock, short this chart? If this was a major breakdown under 62, what's it doing trading 62, 66? Going to give people a better price to sell it than on a breakdown. So this is a negated breakdown. And just my conservative, a lot of people are saying, well, Dale, it's not a bottom until you get through 67. Well, that's true. I'm looking for about 80, and that's my conservative target. If things do happen in Iran and no one thinks there's going to be any problems in the Straits of Hormuz because of our military strength or Israel's, I don't know. I think that the Iranians are better armed than the Houthis were, and they definitely interfered with shipping, right? It was Iran who supported the Houthis. So if they can interfere with shipping on the sea, I'm pretty sure that the Iranians have a plan if they're going to be hit. how to hit back. And the best way for them to hit back is to try and find a way to take supply off the market. Okay. What they could do is instead of retaliating against Israel, um, go for Saudi Arabia. And it's interesting, Saudis are there talking to the Iranians today. So we'll see what happens. I hope for peace. I'd rather, be wrong on a trade than have war. It's just that I was waiting for this area for since here, um, you know, since 23. I had this line drawn, and every time I thought we'd get to it, it didn't. It didn't. And then when it finally did, just broke through it. So I went with the because we had some divergences and everything was crashing. I went with the fact that it could just be a false breakdown, and we'll see how it finishes and what kind of follow through we get. So I think that's about it. The S&Ps are a two-way trade to me. Had a bad, kind of a negative week. So, I think this is also a trading market. There are guys that are saying there's one more break, and I have this black line here, and they're talking about 4,500. So I must have had it there for a reason. That this is a four. We had one, two, three, and this is a four, and we're going to have one more break, and that would 45 would take it under the 4,800 breakdown line. So I know it's far in advance, and I don't know if it's going to happen. The one thing that makes me conflicted about this bottom in the S&Ps again is this, right? It's not just the S&Ps. You were getting confirmed lows and everything here. So that could happen, but I would say more neutral than bearish on the market right now. That's a wrap. I hope you had a good week in the room. Remember, don't just count your pips, count your blessings, and a couple of nice setups coming in for next week. And have a great Easter. Have a great weekend holiday if you celebrate it. And you too can have another chance. Don't give up. Persevere. Be persistent. And just use the three P's of probing with your stop, taking partials, protecting the remainder by going to break even stops, and move on to the next trade. That's a wrap, everyone. Have a great weekend. Don't just count your pips, count your